As you might know if you've seen the channel before, I am a returning player to this game, and I have been on a journey relearning and learning the modern game and all of the cards, all of the archetypes. I've been revisiting some, and revisiting an archetype is what we're going to be doing today. Today, after taking a look at the artwork behind some of these amazing cards, I wanted to look at the Assault Mode archetype. Now, I know that there's no way that anybody could possibly play this archetype anymore, but hey, you know what? You're gonna have me for years upon years over here on YouTube, but we're gonna make our way through every single archetype. Today we are going to be talking about the Assault Mode archetype. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels, so I don't know how many of these I am going to remember because this was popular. Like, I remember when it first came out, I was very invested into the game, and I remember there were some people using some of the Assault Mode cards, but it never really took off too much. It was just like, whoa, if you got this card out, it's like, holy. But I don't really recall anybody using Arcanite Magician Assault Mode, okay? This card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card cannot be special summoned except with Assault Mode activate. When this card is special summoned, place 2 spell counters on it. This card gains 1000 attack for each spell counter on it. You can remove 2 spell counters from this card and destroy all cards your opponent controls. When this card on the field is destroyed, you can special summon 1 Arcanite Magician from your graveyard. Now, I don't recall if all of the Assault Mode cards have that effect of when it is destroyed, you can get the, like, original version, I guess you could call it, back onto the field from the graveyard. The problem with these cards is it's so difficult to get them out. You have to get the Synchro out, which is a little bit of work in itself, and then you also have to have Assault Mode activate set, and the monster doesn't really justify it most of the time, and that's why obviously nobody... I'd be shocked if people still played Assault Mode, but I think I can safely say that nobody plays Assault Mode. Like, back in the day when I was playing this game, nobody played Assault Mode in general, okay? But Arcanite Magician, of course, it is a better version of... Or this Arcanite Magician Assault Mode is a better version of Arcanite Magician, but it's still not exactly too worth it, to be honest with you. Let's continue on over to the next card. Colossal Fighter Assault Mode. When this card is special summoned, you can send up to 2 Warrior-type monsters from your deck to the graveyard. All monsters your opponent controls lose 1000 attack for every Warrior-type monster in your graveyard. When this card on this field is destroyed, you can get a Colossal Fighter back from the graveyard. Okay. I actually like this a little bit more than Colossal Fighter just getting a little bit stronger. I've always been a big fan of cards that take away opponents' attack points, and I actually have an entire deck dedicated to something like that back in the day, which I really want to show you guys one day. It's like using... forgive me if I'm getting the number wrong, but I believe it's number 103 Ragna Zero. I just remember it's Ragna Zero, and it was a whole deck revolved around that, so... I always like the cards like that. I always like running Ragna Zero. I always like taking away my opponent's attack points. And I think this is a little bit better, but still, with the requirements that it takes to get something like this out, I still find myself saying, you know what, that's not exactly worth it. Let's continue on over to Doomkaiser Dragon Assault Mode. I'm a big fan of zombies. I'm a big fan of Doomkaiser Dragon. Let's see what the Assault Mode card does. I don't recall what it does. When this card is special summon any number of zombie-type monsters from either player's graveyards to your side of the field. Those monsters' effects are negated, and they are destroyed during the end phase of this turn. I remember that now. So this thing is definitely a very good card if you're playing a Zombie World deck. I would go as far to say it's worth just throwing that and 1 Assault Mode activate just in case you happen to be able to play that in the zombie deck. I've always really liked the zombie archetype in general, man. We also have Hyper Psychic Blaster Assault Mode. If this card battles a monster, at the end of the damage step, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's defense and gain life points equal to the attack. Now, this is a card that's totally up my alley. If you've been following the channel, then you might know I'm somebody who throws a bunch of Solomon cards into the deck as much as I can. If the format allows it, I'm the guy running 3 versions of Solemn Judgment. I'm the guy playing A Hero Lives. I have no problem halving my life points in order to deflect something. I used to play Counter Fairies, Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment, Solemn Strike. Give me all of them. So I also found myself actually a card that I would go to, which is very underrated. I always want to make sure I have a couple tuners in there. And I would get Thought Ruler Archfiend out there. Excuse me, the name was escaping me because I found myself needing life points quite a bit. Every once in a while, I would actually throw a Draining Shield in there. Excuse me if you can hear my child playing right now. But anyways, I'm a big fan of Hyper Psychic Blaster. I've never used the Assault Mode monster, but yeah, I'm here for that. Give me some life points. I like the Psychic deck in that sense. We also have a card that people actually did use back in the day, Red Dragon Archfiend Assault Mode. Very cool looking card in general, okay? After damage calculation, if this card attacked, destroy all other monsters on the field. Very self-explanatory, and of course, I should have mentioned earlier, I'm not reading, like, the summoning condition. I'm not reading the you get the regular card back. Excuse me, hopefully this video is still enjoyable. Let me take a pause. But anyways, this card is just another, like, better version of Red Dragon Archfiend. Instead of getting rid of all of the defense position monsters, you can get rid of all monsters on the field. Hey, any Judgment Dragon type card is an A-OK card to me. Let's continue on to my personal favorite Assault Mode card, and that's just because I'm a big fan of the Stardust Dragon cards, okay? Stardust Dragon, Assault Mode. You contribute this card to negate the activation of a spell card. Look who's joining us. Hi, Sunny baby. Who's a pretty girl, huh? Who's a pretty girl? Anyway, sorry about that. Lots of distractions today. You contribute this card to negate the activation of a spell card, trap card, or monster's effect and destroy that card. If you negate the effect this way, you can special summon this card from the graveyard during your end phase. I like this because you can negate pretty well anything instead of just something that destroys a card, and especially as the metas have progressed over the years, that's only become a more important effect as time goes on. Let's continue on over to TG Halberd Cannon Assault Mode. Once per turn, you can use both of these effects. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. When your opponent would summon a monster, this is a quick effect. You can negate the summon, and if you do, banish that monster and all special summon your monsters your opponent controls. When this card on the field is destroyed, you can target one TG Halberd Cannon in your graveyard, special summon it, ignoring summoning conditions. And of course, this might just be the best assault mode card, guys. Another thing that I was a big fan of back in the day, one of the most underrated archetypes of all time was the TG deck. I miss when that thing first came out. I was on it. I was playing it. I always loved it, and just getting those synchro cards out it was just so rewarding, man, and it was just a phenomenal card in general. So let's continue on to a counter trap over here, Assault Counter. I don't really remember this one. Activate only while you control an assault mode monster. Negate the activation of spell card, trap card, or affect monster's effect and destroy it. This card is essentially useless when you could have something like Dark Bribe in there. I understand that you can get that, is it Divine Punishment? I'm remembering correctly. I used to use that counter trap card all the time, but you can negate kind of anything, but at the same time, like, it's so situational, especially with an assault mode card. Nah, I'm good with that one, okay? And of course, the staple of the deck, that being assault mode activate. Tribute one synchro monster, special summon one assault mode monster whose name includes the tributed monster's name from your deck and attack position. And you know what's crazy is this thing doesn't even say from your hand, deck, or graveyard, or even just the hand and deck, or hand or deck in general, because I remember people running into this issue. When you'd have the assault mode card in your hand, you would draw it, and then there's nothing you could do, dude. I played with these just a little bit back in the day, man, and I had to start running some magical mallets. Now, this is a card that I'm not familiar with. I don't know if this is any support that it ended up getting, but anyways, we have Assault Mode 0. It's a quick play spell. Tribute one synchro monster, special summon one assault mode monster from your hand whose name includes the tributed monster's name. This is treated as a special summon with an assault mode activate. During your end phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, set one assault mode activate directly from your hand or deck, and it can be activated this turn. This has to be support. Literally, what are the chances after just talking about, like, the weakness of assault mode activate? I don't even remember this card at all. Did they ever try to bring back the assault mode deck? But I don't think it ever worked out, man. We still have a few cards to take a look at over here. This just looks old. We have another quick play spell, Assault Overload. Tribute one assault mode monster, inflict damage to both players equal to its level, and obviously that would be a high level. I don't know if they're all level 12. I don't know if they're the same level as... No, I don't think they're... I think that they don't match the name. Isn't it always level 10 or level 12? Could be wrong about that, but it's like... It's a game-ending card, okay? Assault Reboot's another card that I'm not familiar with. Tribute one assault mode monster. Special summon one assault mode monster from your deck with a different name and defense position, ignoring its summoning conditions. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target any number of cards in your graveyard with different names that are assault mode activate and or specifically list assault mode activate in their text, except assault reboot. Shuffle them into the deck. You can only use each effect once per turn. So these have to be a little bit more modern, because I remember, like, the modern cards nowadays, the spells and traps, they have alternative effects where you can banish this card from the graveyard to do something else, which is good in general. But now I'm thinking, like, okay, maybe that's an easier way to get something out, like a TG Halberd Cannon. Oh my god, is it working out? Are the assault mode cards, did they make a little bit of a comeback? Because now I'm looking at these cards and I'm like, you know what, that's actually not too bad, but still, I don't believe that it's nearly, like, helpful enough with these cards to keep up with anything relatively modern, okay? We also have another quick play, Assault Revival. Yeah, I've never even seen these cards before in my life, guys. These have to have come out later on, okay? But even then, just this card looks like older, you know what I mean? Remove from play one assault mode activate from your graveyard. Destroy all monsters you control and special summon one assault mode monster from your graveyard, ignoring its summoning conditions. Its effects are negated, and it cannot be tributed. If it is removed from the field, remove it from play. Honestly, not a bad card. Not a bad card. It's a good, like, if you need to just hit your opponent one more time, even if with a 4500 attack beat stick monster or something like that. Get it during the battle phase, get it for defense. It's not a bad card. I would definitely be running this one. We also have Assault Slash. Activate while you control an Assault Mode monster. Destroy all face-up monsters on the field. I mean, I get that. I get why that could work, but I would rather just run something like a Torrential Tribute, depending on, like, what format you're having. I don't think that card's been banned at all, like, in recent years, but why wouldn't you run something like that? Why wouldn't you run anything else that just destroys the entire field? Why do you need just a card that has just an Assault Mode card? But I get, like, it's part of the archetype over here. Yeah, but then again, like, I understand the point. You destroy your Assault Mode card, and then you get the original Synchro monster back to your field for free. We also have Assault Teleport. Return one Assault Mode monster from your hand to the deck, draw 2 cards. It's alright. Depending on how many Assault monsters that you're running, could flood your hand a little bit. Again, I'd still rather run Magical Mallet just to be safe. I forgot about this card. Arcane Apprentice. Spellcaster Tuner. If this card is sent to the graveyard for a Synchro summon, you can add 1 Assault Mode activate from your deck to your hand. I mean, it was good for searching back in the day. You needed something to get Assault Mode activate out there, but even then, it's still like, it's still very situational just to get the search out, you know? There should be a spell card that just says bring Assault Mode activate to your hand, or like set it to the field. That would be the best way to go about it. We also have Assault Beast, which I remember people just like running in decks. I don't recall why. Was it just a popular 1900 attack monster? There was some reason that I remember people running this card. It's not coming back to me. But anyways, you can discard this card to the graveyard, add 1 Assault Mode activate from your deck to your hand. Right after I was just yapping about you need something just to get Assault Mode activate to your hand. You have this card. It's definitely a good card for the deck. Definitely a good card. We also have Assault Mercenary. Once per turn, you can return 1 Assault Mode activate from your hand to the graveyard to the deck to destroy 1 spell or trap card your opponent controls. Garbage card. We don't run this card. MST, Galaxy Cyclone, Night Beam, anything like that. And I don't know what people use nowadays, but those were typically the cards that I ended up using. We also have Assault Sentinel. Yeah, I had no idea coming into this video, guys, that there was going to be support for the Assault Mode archetype. Anyways, this is a Beast Warrior 1600 4-star. You contribute this card to special summon 1 monster from your hand or deck that specifically lists Assault Mode activate in its text, except Assault Sentinel. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except Synchro monsters. You can target 1 face-up monster you control, reveal 1 Synchro monster in your extra deck, and if you do, the targeted monster's type and attribute become the same as the revealed monsters until the end of this turn. You can only use each effect once per turn. Now, I would have to go back and see like exactly what the materials for each Assault Mode Synchro monster that you would need, or not the Assault Mode Synchro monster, but the Synchro monster that you use for the Assault Mode. Regardless, that first effect, now I'm kind of convinced that this deck's picking up some steam now. This is a phenomenal card. You contribute this card and special summon 1 monster from your hand or deck that specifically lists Assault Mode activate in its text. What? That's a great card. You just get one of your boss monsters for essentially free? Man, this card, just this card in general is bringing back the archetype. Give me that card in my deck. Nice, 3 copies. Yes, please. We also have Nightwing Sorceress. You can activate Assault Mode activate the turn it's set. Wow, great card. We love that. Assault Mode activate shouldn't even... Dude, it shouldn't even be a trap card. It needs to be a quick play spell. We also have Psi-Reflector. This is a tuner monster. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add 1 Assault Mode activate or 1 card that mentions it from your deck to your hand, except this card. You can reveal 1 Assault Mode activate in your hand, then target 1 monster in your graveyard that mentions it, except for this card, special summon it, and if you do, increase its level by up to 4. You can only use each effect once per turn. I think it's a good card. I would have to like play around with it, but it seems like one of those cards that's just like really helpful, especially for synchro summons, and it being the 1-star, and you can change the level that it's at. You can really do some work with that. So I did not know that with all of these cards, it would be a lot easier to play the Assault Mode archetype. I was just going to go through those cards and get a little bit of a refresher. That's kind of what we've been doing on this channel with some of the archetypes that I've already known. But if you want to learn a little bit more with me, then why don't you check out another archetype that we just broke down right here. I'd love to have you over there. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, everybody.